Are you ready for the launch of something beautiful? This is Patchwork Roses. We have a whole collection and we've got some wonderful projects to share with you. In fact, this is one of them that Debbie has done, and isn't that lovely? Okay, won't you please come play with us? Well, before we get into Debbie's projects, let me just show you what all of this is about and take you step by step through what these look like. So I'm going to tuck all of those over. Now here are the 12 by 12 pattern cardstock. There are 12 of them. They are double-sided. Plus you're going to get 52 cutouts. Now that's just amazing and wonderful. Okay, so here's the first sheet, as you saw. So that gorgeous border, and then all the patchwork behind it. And then on the back side, we have a little bit darker green, but we still have some of the imagery. This is the second, very light pink. The border goes in an L shape. Now, if you are a scrapbooker, you know this is where you're going to be putting your photos. But if you are a card maker, think in terms of quarters. You're going to get 4 cards out of every 12 by 12 sheet. And you can see that they're designed to be just gorgeous. The back side of this is another quilt, a little bit stronger pink in this area, but a beautiful border too. Now we're going into the blues, and didn't we just really launch into them? Look at that gorgeous border, how pretty that's going to be. On the back side is another one without the border, but with some flowers and some other things. Now we've got yellow. So we want to give all the colors. We don't want any of them sulking in the corner. So we've got 2 borders, and again the patchwork, and on the back side we have an all over with another border, so lots to choose from. Here are the large cutouts, and we've got 2 borders this time, and you can see that we've hit all the colors, the pink, the yellow, the blue, the green, all of them. On the back side we have just these 4 beautiful pieces. Now if you are making a 6 by 6 cards, well, these are going to be perfect, or you can trim them out to go into different sizes. Here are the cutouts, and as usual, all of them have the art. Most of them have greetings, but some of them are left without the greetings so that you can layer them, you can do some different things with them. The back side of this is right here, kind of ghosted of those quarters that we saw on the last page. So you're going to get 2 of every single one. And because this is hot off the press, you will also have ideas on the back of the package. In fact, there is a scrapbook page and a card. I'm going to show you the scrapbook page right now. And this is on that first sheet with the green and the big border. How fun is this? Debbie did this. And roses always bring smiles. Well, in her family, many of the women have the name of Rose. And so she really decided to highlight all of them. So her mother, Vera Rose, and Karen Rose, Rose Teresa, April Rose, and Lucy Rose. You can see the whole gamut of ages. And she has used, this is one of the large cutouts, and then she used the oval dies. This is the cutting dies that I'll show you in a moment. Just beautiful. So that's a great way to begin, don't you think? Now we're going to go into our solids, and the solids, there are 12. And we do these in a different way. I don't think anyone else in the industry does it this way, but we like to get more shades of color. So we're going to start with the bright pink, and then on the back side there's a very light pink. So that might look a little white on your monitor, but it is a light pink. We've got a dark green, and then we've got a medium green, a medium blue, and a very light blue, a purple, and then we have white, and I'll show you why when we get to the projects. And we have this gold, and on the back side a yellow. Now that's the 6 of them. You're going to get 2 of each, and that's going to work perfectly with all your projects. Now we also have the 6 by 6, and in this package you're going to get 4 of every single sheet. Now I've already shown you the sheet, so I'm not going to duplicate that, but you will also get 104 cutouts. Wow, super, super great. And there is an idea on the package, of course. For the die cuts, there are 31 of them, and you're going to get 2 sheets. They are different, and again, like the cutouts, they all have the artwork that's going to correspond with the Patchwork Roses. Some of them do not have greetings, again, so that you can do some layering and you can play with them however you wish. And there are 2 ideas on the back of that package, of course. Then we also have chipboard, and the chipboard is gorgeous. It's a 6x6 sheet. There are 11 pieces. There is a frame, and then inside that frame there's a rose, so that rose is going to pop out and the frame is going to be empty. We have a border, and then of course we have roses, and then roses always bring smiles. That's what Debbie used on the scrapbook page. We also have the cutting dies, and the cutting dies are, as always, spectacular. There are 16. There is a border, which is lovely, so very lacy looking. We also have a patchwork area here, and this is 2 3/8 inches wide. So we've got 4 blocks. We'll show you how to use those in a minute. And then we have the roses and several different styles. Now you can do the roses just with one layer, as has been done here. We'll get in super close so you can see. So there's just one layer. And actually, can you get in closer? Thank you. So you can see those lines. Well, those lines just add so much more detail. Before we started doing the thin cuts, that's what we call it, you would have to do a deboss or an emboss. Those are thicker lines. So being able to do these thin lines just gives everything a much finer look. Now you can also layer them. So these are a little bit bigger and they are not layered. This one is layered. This is why we did white, so that you could do, oh, maybe a green rose to go, or you could do a white rose. So lots of ideas. So that's what we have here. And again, there is a card idea on the back. There is that quilt, just done with 2 colors of solid, and that's going to work beautifully. Okay, let's get into the newest projects, and here they are. These were designed just for the webisode. Now this is using our 5 by 6.5 inch card. However, Debbie placed the card on the scoreboard like this, or whatever you use to do your scoring, and then scored 2.5 inches in using the attached bone folder. So simply did that, and then folded it back so that you have this S or Z fold card. Okay, now she did something else. So obviously this is in the yellow tones. She took a piece, and this is using the dark color, the dark, yes, that kind of burgundy color, and she cut a piece that's this big, so it's 9 inches by 4 1/4. Then she scored it at, going from the left, 2.5 inches, and then 5 inches. Now what this will do is to make this piece that's going to be in the center of the card. So she did the first one in a mountain fold, the next one in a valley fold, just like this. And then after you cover your card, and I'll show you the paper, well, here's the paper that she used. So you probably figured that. This is the back side of the one with the double border. This is with the single border. And she covered this front panel, just trimmed it a little bit smaller than the panel itself so that she would have a white border. And then she used the rest of this section to go on the inside of her card. So one piece here and another piece here. Again, all of them are slightly smaller than the area they're going to be glued to, so that the white could be like looking like a mat. Now, after that was done, she took this piece that she had cut and put it here, and you can see that it's going to be attached, just the left part of it to that panel, and then this is going to get glued to the inside of the card. So that's why you want to do your put your yellow papers down first, and then when the card closes, it's going to go like that. Okay, so very neat. The only trick is that you want to make sure that you have your panels covered. So that is that piece right there, and try not to do that. Now, so what she has done is this is what she used for her piece, and then she did mat it onto this sheet. So this is the brown, and it has the tan on the top. Now, for the areas here, she has gone straight into the cutouts. So I need some you and me time. Well, let's see. That is right here. And it's already matted. That works nicely. So just trim that out. Again, you're going to glue the left side to the left front panel of the card. Now, here, here's a patch of sunlight. Isn't that a pretty shape? That was glued right next to the fold. And she did that because she wanted this to look complete when the card is closed. So nothing is kind of peeking that she didn't want to peek. What she did want to peek are some of the cutting dies. And for that, you can see that beautiful curve, and that was done with the cutting dies. We find that that curve is just really pleasing. Shapes that are curved are just very pleasing to the eye. And plus you can do some fun things with them. And that's what she did. Now remember I told you, and she used, now the green has two colors, so she used the darker green on these. And that's a good accent to the gold and the yellow that's going on. Then for the yellow here, she used the white here, and then she did ink it with toasted oat. And that's not going to give a huge yellow, but it's going to give a tinge of yellow, kind of a soft gold, which is going to go perfectly with this. Now, look at that gorgeous border. That is done with the cutting die and the dark brown. So this is 6 1/4 inches long. So you're going to cut probably 4 of them, and then you can lay them here and glue them down. Now the precision glue press is going to work really well, especially for things like this that are so intricate. And you have it done. It is done. It is gorgeous. You may want to make a note of this because I think it's a great look for a card and can go with so many themes. Okay, we're going to go to our next card, and this is also a card that has an area that is scored and folded. However, this card was made with the solid cardstock. So what Debbie did, now this is the green, and so the green has, as I showed you earlier, darker green on one side, darker green on one side, lighter green on the other. So you can see that when she cut her piece, by the way, this is 12 by 6 inches. And so she did then put this on the scoreboard, go in at 6 inches and at 3 inches. So she's just doing it in half because this is 12 inches long, 12 by 6, okay? Then score at 3 inches and score at 6 inches. Do the same thing. You're going to fold this back, and this is going to fold over. Very pretty. Really does a nice job of accenting both of these. Let me show you that paper again. And it is this one, the first one that's in the pack. And she chose to take this piece, and just like the card before, she trimmed this down. However, notice she tore it. So what you'd want to do is cut it out, about a ½ an inch bigger than what you want, and then tear it. And when you're tearing it, bring, so like I'm holding that piece, bring it toward you, and that's going to give you a white edge. You want the white edge so that you can ink it. And you're just going to rub, this is khaki ink pad, you're just going to rub that along the torn edge. And isn't that pretty? Just works. It's very much this lovely look, this romantic look that we have in the papers. So that goes on the first one. You don't have to mat it because it's already matted. And then here we're going to go into the rest of the paper. So you can see that this was the front of the card. Once again, we're going to go a little bit further and do this to the inside of the card. And then this piece is going to go from another area on that same sheet. So you've got all of those taken care of. However, what she's done is she's added the cutouts. So the With Love and a Hug, that has been foam taped up. And there is that beautiful lace border again. And how fun to have it right there where you really can't see it, but oh, you can open it up like this. Let me show you something else that Debbie did. Okay, what did she do? We're going to get in super close. And she took the pink ribbon. Now this is out of the pink ribbon collection, the light pink. And she wove it. She threaded it through the holes in the cutting die, just along that top. And she kind of let it kind of twist off. So it's not flat necessarily. It could be, but she didn't make it that way. And the way she positioned this is just priceless, with allowing it to show. It's a nice surprise when you open the card. Then she did a bow right there. Now this is the chipboard. Let me show you what that looks like. And she's just, well, I guess I did already show you, didn't I? Okay, so she has taken some of the pieces. So there is that rose. And isn't that pretty? Again, it's curving. And here she used 2 ink pads. So the khaki to get the green, and then also the vintage rose. And look how pretty that is. Again, because of the lines that are cut into it, you get so much more detail than you do normally with chipboard. So we've got one there. We've got a corner piece right here. And then when we open this, we've got more. So we've got this big piece. Now this area is done with the cutting die. However, these are part of the chipboard. So let me show you down along the bottom. And she didn't do any coloring with this. And sometimes we forget about that. We get so into let me color everything that we forget that you can just leave it plain and it's beautiful. Now, this is another of the cutouts, and this is a good example. This one has no greetings on it. It's right here. And yet it does such a really nice job of filling this area. And so we've got roses everywhere, as we should, and we've got patchwork everywhere. And we have with love and a hug. So very fun, very nice. Okay, let's scoot these over. Now, we've had the pink green, we've had the, so that's been nice. But now we're going to go into the blue set. And this is where we want to make sure to have that white solid color, because isn't that gorgeous? Now, this is a 5 by 6.5 inch card. And what Debbie used, a couple of things. She used both the 12 by 12 and the 6 by 6. We don't usually do that, but she really found it was useful in this case because the 12 by 12 is going to cover the card front. So right there, just completely covered it. And then she took this 6 by 6, which is also in the blue collection. It is the other side of the 12 by 12 that I just showed you. Okay, so I showed you this one, no border. But on the back side of this, you've got that white lacy border, the same one that's in the chipboard. And so she glued this and cut it off along the edge of the card. So she's got blue upon blue. And I think it was really smart to have that border on top because it really shows nicely. Now, she took this, and this is out of the die cuts. And here it is, a patch of sunlight just for you in this lovely oval shape. And then she matted it twice. I guess I should show this to you. See how it's already matted for you? That's great. If the blue doesn't work for some reason, you can always trim it off, but we want to start with that. So that has been done, and then she matted it on. There is a purple and a light blue, which I think I have right here. There is the purple, and there's the light blue, and did those in a rectangle. So I think that was nice. Our lace is showing up again right here, and this whole piece was foam taped in the upper left quadrant, okay? And this is an excellent example of that cutting die. So let me pull it out. Cutting die, where are you? Oh, that's not good. All right, well, okay, I'll find it. It is this rectangle. And you can use 2 different colors. So she's used white and purple, but then she's also colored in the blue. Now she did that with a marker. You could do that with anything that you want to use. You can use an ink pad. Then she placed it here, and it has that little scallop edge, which is just lovely. Okay, here's my cutting die. There you go, you can see this. So now when that cuts out, you're going to have openings. You're going to have openings within the diamonds, as well as within these little pieces, as well as in the dots. And you can see that right here, where she die cut it out of white and then put purple behind it. Easy, super easiest way to do quilting on the face of the planet. Now look at the cutting dies. Look how beautiful those roses are. And look, she used purple for the leaves, light purple, and then, or a purple and then a light blue also. So she's mixed those. Just absolutely gorgeous. And then I think it's really fun that she brought in lavender crystals. And these are self-adhesive, so you can see them here, just little three of them right there, and then into the center of the flowers. On the inside of her card, she stayed with that blue, and then here is the chipboard. Remember I told you there was a frame? There is a frame. Then, and like I said, she's mixing the 12 by 12 papers with the 6 by 6 papers. So this is the 12 by 12, aha, but this is the 6 by 6. You make my day. A nice affirmation, don't you think? And she's matted on white, foam taped it in the middle of our chipboard piece. And then we've got more of the chipboard just going all around this. Isn't that gorgeous? Thank you so very much. That is also from the 6 by 6. There's a bigger one in the 12 by 12. The inks that she used here was blueberry, and that's what she used on the edge of her card front, and also onto a bit of the leaves. So I think it's really neat to have blue and purple leaves. It's just gorgeous. So lovely, lovely. Okay, that is our third card. I have one more. The woman has been busy. Now this card is going to look different right now than it did on the images for this webisode. And that's because when this was photographed, I guess the belly band here had come off and it didn't get photographed. So I do want you to have this whole piece just to see that. I'm going to slip this off. And what Debbie did, now this is going to flip up, and then the card is going to open. The woman covered every surface of every single one of these projects. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to start with your blank card. Now our cards come scored but not folded. So your first step is always going to be to fold them. And there will be a bump on one side and kind of a divot on the other. Bump goes to the center of the card. Just remember, bump goes to the center of the card. And then when you fold it and you score it, and I don't usually use my fingernail, I use a bone folder, but for right now, okay, then place that with the fold at the bottom. Okay, that way it's going to open just like Debbie's. Then she cut a piece. This is 5.5 inches square. And then she measured 3/4 of an inch, went onto her scoreboard and scored it, and then attached extra sticky tape to the back of it. And then this is going to go on the back of the card as it opens. So it's going to go right on the back there. And then the card will open like so. I like to use extra sticky tape whenever you've got something that's going to be handled and moved, because it is just that, it's extra sticky. So, okay, now when you do this out of the pink, the dark pink, you already have a mat, okay? And that's what Debbie has done right here. And let me show you. So here she used, let me get this over here. Okay, remember those large cutouts? Well, this one, she used this one. Now we're showing it here as a vertical, but you can turn it horizontally, got that? And just cut it out, and she just glued it to the center of that flap, okay? And this little piece up here is also from the set, and that's just about 1/4 inch piece that's going along that 5.5 inch width, okay? Then the roses are my love language. That is one of the die cuts. And where are you? That has a green border. Oh, there it is. Roses are my love language. It's a darker green. That is foam taped over in this area. So it's foam taped in this where there's kind of a halo. It's going to be foam taped right there. And then also the cutting dies. So the dark green for the leaves are just going around that. You see how we keep using that curved shape to just add such a pretty look. Now that's all that happens on the front side of this. Now there are things on the other side, but I'm going to go to the card front first. So don't look up there, okay? We're going to go right here. And this is going to be the back side of the paper. And it's right here. Okay, so you can choose that. You can choose actually any of them to get this ghosted back look. Now, this is another of the die cuts. Grateful for you. And, you know, I think I just lied to you. It's right here. It's the cutout right there. Beautiful shape. That has just been glued down flat. Now, this is the cutting die again with that quilt. This time she's done it in a blue, has gone to the back of the cutting die, and then she inked the top with the, let's see, here it is, the, it must be the velvet rose, vintage rose. So you can see it's just kind of scrubbing on the top of it. Then she matted it onto the pink. Then, and I forgot to bring it, our corner rounder, it's got 3 curves on it. So she just did the curve. I think this is the number 7, okay? This Sending My Love, that is out of our die cuts right there. That's foam taped. Okay, now we're gonna open this up. And look what she's done. So this is going to really fully use one piece of the 12 by 12 paper. So you can see, okay, so we've got the patchwork look. So this is the back side. We have it here and we have it here. Don't pay any attention to that yet, okay? And then she has used those horizontal elements. So we've got the die cut lace. I think the woman has made a great case for that. And so it's at right here in the middle. And then on here and here, that is the lace underneath with a piece of the border on top. So it just gives you a different look. See how that edge is right here? I think we need to get in closer. Here we go. Okay. So see how that has that little scallop? It's the same scallop as this down here. So that's covered it up. So you can choose to do that. This arch is part of the cutouts that you're going to get when you get the 12 by 12 papers. That's right here. This is what I mean when I talk about layering. So here is the arch. The arch doesn't have any words. It has beautiful art. And then it's your birthday. That has been laid over it and glued down flat. And there is a rose from our beautiful cutting die. Neato. Okay, now this section, same thing that she's done with the lace and with the border and so forth. And that border, just so if you didn't see it, comes from the sheet here. So there's 2 borders. You can see this light colored rose one. That's what she's used on both of those. And then roses always bring smiles. That's out of the chipboard. This is the chipboard. This is one of the die cuts. So she's just married all of these elements, which I think is a very smart move. And look how this rose is going horizontally in the opposite direction of this rose. Clever woman. And in these, she's got the dark green with the cutting die, and then she's got the light pink, and then she's also touched it more with the vintage rose ink pad. Then this part that I've been telling you not to look at, this is out of the papers, and that one is going to be out of one of the 12 by 12s that for some reason I don't have in my packet, but you can tell it's right here. And this is the die cuts, and we've got the cutting dies around it. And this is one of the pieces also out of the papers that is attached to it. So you don't do anything to get that. This is down flat, as are these. So this is going to fold over. Belly band. Okay, let's talk about the belly band. This is a very narrow belly band. And she's done this out of the paper, and this is actually in the front of it is something out of the papers that I will show you. But the whole thing was made out of the solid. And you need a piece to go all the way around the card, because then this is going to overlap. And what you need are two 7-inch long by 1/2 inch pieces. I don't know that you can see that, but this is 7 inches. This is 7 inches, and then they are overlapped by a good inch. Okay, so go ahead and cut those two pieces, overlap them an inch, glue them together, and then take the back of them and wrap this around your card, having those two ends in the back. Now you want it to be, you're going to overlap those two ends, but you want this to be enough so it will slide off easily. So as I was doing that, I would take it like this, and I would just kind of make sure as I hold it that it really is going to slip on and off easily. And then glue that together. And then what she did is she took that second border, this one, so she used the light one already, this one, and glued it just to the front. And then To a Special Friend is out of the die cuts. And then this will simply slip over the bottom of the card, and it will go up to where the cutting dies are, but it's not going over them. So roses are my love language, To a Special Friend. This is gorgeous. I know there's a lot going on, but the papers really make it easier and everything is going to work together and match. So that's exactly what we want to have happen. Okay, that's what I have for you. Debbie has just outdone herself. So just to recap, we have Patchwork Roses in 12 by 12 pattern. We have Patchwork Roses Solid. As you can see, that's so useful with the cutting dies and everything else. We have Patchwork Roses 31 cutouts. We have the chipboard. We have the 6x6. Where are you, 6x6? There you are. And we also have the cutting dies that I keep losing for some unknown reason. And there they are. All of those ready for you. Okay, if you are a VIP, and all you have to do to become a VIP is just shop. Super, super easy, but you need to sign up. So sign up at checkout, and then what will happen is the computer will magically tally your orders. When you hit $500 within 12 months, it will say you're a VIP, and then magically you will get this email once a month, and it will give you a code. I don't have a code. It will give you a code, and then with your next order, use that code, and you will get 2 sheets of each 6x6 of the paper selection. So that's nice, and you will get that for free, okay? The other thing for free, is that okay to give you for free, is our cutouts, and these are a download. So you can see that these are with out of the pieces that we have in the book or in the packet, and they are the 12 by 12 size, and you will get an email, and you can also find this at the very, very bottom of the home page. So you just click on it, you can print this off as often as you want. It is a piece that is, and we also have the die cuts that are already cut out for you, so that will work. So those are our 2 freebies, but we also have subscriptions. If you love all of this and you say, Paulette, I love all of this, I really want it all, this is what we have. I really want it all, and you say it exactly that way. You will get the whole collection before the webisode, and you will save 20% off. 20%, my friends. So that's a good deal. And because these are hot off the press, all of them have ideas on the package. So you've got something to kind of get you started before the webisode, and that's nice. Okay, if you love all of this, but you know, you don't want the cutting die, or as one of my favorite customers said, she generally buys the whole set, but she wants more. So she buys the whole set with the I really want it all, and then she buys another one that's I want it all, because you only need one package of cutting dies. So anyway, if you want the cutting die, or if you don't, we have something for you. In this case, no cutting die. It's I want it all, not I really, it's I want it all. Same 20% off, and you're going to get all of this before the webisode too. So that's really fun. So we've got lots of goodies for you. And if you go down below, you can see all of the projects. You can see what Debbie used, but the instructions are here on this webisode. So that's why I've given you some of the measurements and so forth, just to keep that for you. The webisode isn't going to go away. It's going to be there as long as we have the product. So that's going to last you quite a long time. So we have this wonderful collection for you. And you know, who doesn't like a little patchwork roses in your life? Okay, I do want to thank Debbie for doing such an amazing job. The woman has been absolutely brilliant. If you happen to be watching this on YouTube, we would love it if you would subscribe to YouTube. We would love it even more if you would head on over to paperwishes.com. Sometimes people who see these webisodes on YouTube think that that's where they live. No, they live at paperwishes.com, but they are also on YouTube. So to make sure that you don't miss anything, head on over to paperwishes.com. You want to sign up for our newsletter. That way you'll know about everything that's going on here. And you can have a chance to get the money saver. I didn't tell you about the money saver. There's a money saver on the right-hand side of your screen. We just want to give you a little bit of a discount to help you along, okay? Because we're all in this together. I do want to thank you if you're new to Paper Wishes, or if you've been with us for forever. That's great, and we appreciate it. So thank you, Debbie. You are wonderful, and thank all of you, because after all, you are the very best part of paperwishes.com. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.